I'm Kat.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy,
a tipsy night class teaching the oddities and curiosities you never learned in school.
Where are you taking us for this learning journey, Hayley?
We will be learning about the man who tried to save Abraham Lincoln.
Oh,
yes,
too bad he didn't do a better job.
Did not succeed,
No.
but he did try, and there was aftermath of that, so it's not fun.
As long as he did his best.
He tried. I'll say that much. But also there were a bunch of other people that could have also tried technically.
Right. I mean, it shouldn't be easy to kill a president.
Yeah,
you
it was
shouldn't
a little
just be
too
able
easy.
to do it.
And the first time you have a thought of like, I want to assassinate the president, you should try harder to like not go that route.
Right.
Like it's really on John Wilkes
not to
Booth.
victim blame here.
It's totally on John
But
Wilkes
seems
Booth.
like it could have been avoided.
What are you teaching us?
Last week, we talked about how you enjoy blood-sucking insects like mosquitoes and bed bugs. And we discussed a blood-sucking insect that I could cover. So I did
What
that
was it
for
again?
you.
A tick?
You'll find it. Yeah, it's ticks.
I already forgot. Okay. Are we going to learn about Lyme disease too?
Yes, a little bit.
Yes.
I know Lyme disease could be like its own lesson, but I definitely have like a paragraph about it.
Hey, that's more than I could
That's all
hold
you
for.
need.
The headline is really fucking bad.
Yeah,
It's
not
not
good. One of my teachers in high school had Lyme disease. She didn't have it when I knew her, but like she almost died from it. She became so tired and lost so much weight, and no one could figure out what was wrong with her. And then it's like, oh, she just needed antibiotics.
Yeah, and it's so hard to diagnose
Yeah.
from what I understand.
I think they can test for it, but I think a lot of people just like it's not even on their radar.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
doctors,
Yeah,
it
one
should
would
be on
think.
your radar.
I don't know, man.
My high school boyfriend had it, and he played football and like really wanted to be like the best at football, but he just wasn't. And then he started getting all these symptoms like arthritis, and he was
Oh my God.
devastated. I mean, like as you would be. But then it turned out Lyme disease. So,
Wow.
yeah,
And
it
then he
only
got
took, like,
over it?
Yeah, it only took a couple months, but there was a point in time where his knees were so swollen.
That's scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll like cause your heart to fail if it gets bad enough.
Yeesh.
I know. Not good, but we'll get into it.
Looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah. Before we started recording, you said you got a funny story.
I do. Okay, so this is a true save it for the pod moment. So yesterday after work, I went to the mall because I just wanted to look at
The
things.
hell?
I know. I went to the mall.
What
And
mall?
the Oak Court Mall.
Oh.
For I know for H&M.
Okay.
And I got a dress from H&M, so I was glad, but I wasn't ready to go home yet. So I walked around the rest of the mall, went down the escalator, and then back to the other side on the first floor. So I had to go back up the escalator to get to my car. But as I arrived to this escalator, I see that the one that goes up that I had to go on was not working, and they had closed it off. So I couldn't just like use it as regular stairs.
Right.
And since it's 2024 and I was in a mall, no one else was around. So when I looked at the other side of the escalator of it going down,
Did you
I
try
was
to go
like,
up the down escalator?
I did it.
You did it?
I did.
That's impressive. I don't think I could make it.
I was like, I think I could do it. This could be like my childhood dream. And then I get to the top and the stairs just
Yeah, they
keep
just keep
coming
going.
out. And
Gotta
then I
jump.
panicked and I fell and it was like, dude.
You fell?
I fell and look, I have a mark on my foot
Oh.
and on
Oh
my
my
leg and my
God.
hands got
Oh
cut.
my God.
And the
Did you
stairs
land
just kept
on the
going.
stairs or did you land on the floor?
I landed on the stairs.
And then did you go back down?
No, I was able to leap up fast enough and then just like jumped from the stair onto
Oh
the
my
landing.
Oh my God.
And then I ran through Dillard's
That's
to get out of there.
dangerous. I hope a security guard saw that whole thing.
They're laughing their ass off.
I can't believe that was your solution instead of just like stepping over the barricade and walking up the broken escalator.
Well, it had a barricade on both sides, like at the top and the
Yeah,
bottom.
but you could still like get over it or push it out of the way.
It's so crazy because that solution not once crossed my mind.
It's like I have to run up. There's no other option.
It was such an intense
That is
workout.
insane. That is insane.
I could not breathe afterwards. It was insane. I found like, who who am I?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it was fun for the most part. Now I know what
Until
it's
the
like to go
end.
up the down escalator.
Yeah. Not easy, I
I'm
imagine.
surprised when I fell, my hair didn't get like caught in the stairs or something.
It's dangerous.
I'm a daredevil. What can I say?
Oh my God. When I was a kid, I had a fear of escalators.
They're
and
so
my mom would
scary.
like leave me at the top and I'd be up. I think she like wouldn't notice and she would go down and get to the bottom and I'd be like up at the top, like crying.
Yeah, because the stairs are just coming out of this grate.
Yeah, you
and it
feel
looks
like you could get
scary.
sucked in or fall all the way down them.
Sucked in.
Yeah. I'm
guess I
still a little
conquered our
scared of
fears.
them. I would never go up the down escalator. I'm impressed.
I don't know. Maybe I'm having an episode, but
Maybe the fact that you didn't just move the barricade and walk up the stairs
the
is
fact
crazy.
that I wasn't just like, let me walk back down to the other end of the mall.
I wouldn't do
up the
that
other
either.
side.
That's too much.
But that's my funny story. I thought you all would
Wow.
enjoy.
I did enjoy it.
I did not. Well, I did. It was mixed feelings.
Yeah.
But that's all I have.
Okay.
I think it's your turn to go first.
Yes, I am going first. And as we said, I'm talking about ticks. A lot of people think ticks are insects, but they are actually arachnids.
Ew.
Which makes them even worse because it's like spiders sucking your blood. If you look really closely at them, you can see they have 8 legs.
That is scary.
Yeah. There are many different kinds of ticks, but most can be categorized into 2 families, the Ixodidae, which are hard-bodied ticks, and the Argacidae, which are soft-bodied ticks.
Are those the ones that get massive?
Yeah,
when
like
they
the white ones.
No.
Disgusting. And while behavior, lifestyles, and phenotype may vary between tick types, all ticks are hematophagous, meaning they drink blood. Ticks have been around for an extremely long time. Their last common ancestor probably lived around 195 million years ago in the southern hemisphere.
That's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
What is time? Truly.
I don't know anything about time, but were they eating dinosaurs? Like, were there dinosaurs then?
What did you say?
195 million years ago?
That might be like predate dinosaurs.
Really?
T-Rex was 65 million years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. So they
definitely
did.
were.
And I mean, if they were sucking blood, they had to be eating something. I guess there were mammals before the dinosaurs, right? And then dinosaurs.
There
I
was like
think-
little lemur things.
Yeah, like
but
little like rat kind of
I wouldn't say
things.
they were before dinosaurs.
I think they were. Listen, I watched a show on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but it showed me how life on Earth evolved. And I think there were like little mammal things before dinosaurs. And that is a fact. I'm going to say that. I don't know for sure, but let's say it's a fact.
Let's call it a fact.
Let's call it a
Why
fact.
not? I mean, you can't prove it's not a fact.
I think you can.
I've said it before on the pod before, but a T-Rex is closer to us on the timeline than to a Stegosaurus, which always blows my mind.
Yeah.
Just had to say it again.
And isn't there
it.
something like the pyramids were closer to dinosaurs than to Cleopatra or something like that?
I forget that one.
Yeah,
It's a
there's
similar
something
one.
like that.
Yeah. We believe ticks evolved the adaptation of blood feeding 120 million years ago, and this behavior evolved independently in separate tick families.
Oh my God, they're all just randomly like, what if we drank blood?
And a lot of animals suck blood, and so that's a trait that's been like evolved on its own many times. Which is
I
weird.
love that. That is weird.
From there, we have a number of tick fossils from the Cretaceous period over 90 million years ago. Most of the tick fossils we have are preserved in amber and have been found all over the world in places like New Jersey, Burma, Albania, the Baltics, and the Dominican Republic.
Worldwide. Ticks. Get your
Pitbull.
ticks sucked.
Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide, the tick. This range is evidence that ticks have long been widespread. They exist on every continent and often catch rides on migrating birds to spread their presence even further.
Even Antarctica?
Even Antarctica.
Do they feed on the little penguins?
Literally, they do.
Oh, no.
They have been found on penguins.
They don't give a fuck. They're
No.
gonna feed.
And
They're gonna
while-
get their meal.
While they like can be pretty much anywhere, they prefer to live in hot, humid climates where water in the air can be absorbed into their skin and keep them hydrated. Studies in the northeastern U.S. found that the presence of sandy soil, hardwood trees, rivers, and also deer attracts ticks.
I always think of deer when I think of ticks. They're just like peanut butter and jelly.
I mean, there's a tick called the deer tick, so that might be why.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do they like deer blood specifically then?
Yes.
Okay. What makes it special?
That's
It's
just
gamey.
their preferred food. I don't know. I like cheese quesadillas. It's good. It's good to have
mean,
preferences. Ticks are durable enough to live just about anywhere, at least for short periods. They can endure about 18 weeks of total starvation and withstand freezing temperatures.
It's so crazy. I could last no more than 2 hours, I think, without eating.
Yeah.
Except for when I fast at night.
Maximum of like 5.
Yeah, that's the absolute max until I start to break down emotionally.
100%. They can survive in 0 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 2 hours and live in temps 20 to 29 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 weeks. Ticks will feed on just about any animal, including small and large mammals, birds, and sometimes even reptiles and amphibians. But some tick species have clear preferences, like we mentioned deer ticks, and there's also dog ticks. Ticks seek out their prey by sensing the animal's breath, body odors, heat, moisture, and vibrations. They are really good at smelling out their prey, and they will sometimes move to places where they're more likely to cross paths with an animal. So they can like smell out the paths where animals are moving, and
They've
then
been here.
they sit there and wait. They're diabolical.
Ew. They are like cousins of fleas, aren't they?
Yeah. Do
Little
fleas do that?
nasties.
Like,
I don't
find
know if they
prey?
wait. Yeah, they can smell, or bed bugs. I mean,
Yeah.
bed bugs. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
like you
probably
think of
fleas,
a,
too.
I think of a tick as so small. Like, how does it even crawl somewhere?
Yeah,
it
do
crawls
you-
like 3 feet. That would take it all day.
do they have brains?
Yes, I think so. We're so
right?
stupid. No wonder we have hundreds of YouTube comments like being like women are dumb.
I mean,
If you only watch us, you would think that.
Do any animals? So we know like jellyfish don't have brains, right?
No,
No, they don't.
they
or
don't have
no,
brains.
they do.
They don't have
Okay.
brains. But I think like ticks have brains. When they get to the right location, they get in a position called questing. This is where they cling to a piece of grass with their back legs and then stretch their front legs out to cling to a passing animal.
They're just ready. They're just gonna latch on.
It's giving desperate, just waiting
Just
like
reaching
that,
out,
you
yeah.
know? Like,
It's giving Jesus on the cross.
yeah. Sacrificial tick. Smaller ticks will hang out low on the stalk to reach smaller mammals and birds, while larger ticks climb to the top of the grass where they're more likely to encounter large prey like deer and dogs.
It's a hierarchy. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours.
Yeah.
You want the dog? You got to get the dog in you.
You can't. Ooh.
My dog, I mean.
You can't just reach the top of the grass overnight. It's a myth that ticks can jump at their prey or drop on them from trees. They can, however, pull themselves toward their prey using static electricity generated from the animal.
What?
They
They're
can-
so light, they can just
Yeah,
Take
they can
me
just like
away.
fall and then like be sucked up onto the animal. And they can move several times their own body length with this method.
nasty.
I know. Once a tick reaches their host, they might bite down immediately, or they might spend time to seek out a spot where the skin is thinner, like the ears.
I think that's the best move. It's like you've made it. You
Yeah.
know, you're there. It's like when you arrive to the airport. Your terminal, make sure it's there, and then go get your food. Look around, check the directory.
Yeah, it's going to be more work in the long run to not seek out a good place.
Absolutely. And you're going to be glad that you did. You're going to
Don't
like
rush
the way
it.
you look.
Finding the right spot can take 10 minutes to 10 hours.
Thought you were talking about the airport. I was like, isn't that the truth?
That too.
After my first 5 airport beers, yeah, it gets pretty fucking hard to find.
And sometimes you're wearing like a sweatshirt and boots and a backpack and you're sweating.
I sweat at the airport like nothing else.
Yeah, because it's like a workout to get around. You're carrying shit. It's horrible. I
It's
hate the airport.
backpacking in the wilderness, essentially.
Yeah, but
It's
worse.
hiking.
It's
Way
stuffy in
worse.
there. Once they reach a suitable place, they cut a hole in the skin and insert their hypostom. The hypostom is a harpoon-like structure near their mouth that anchors them to their host. So this is how they're like stuck.
They're
in
in there. Yeah.
It's hard to move them. Some ticks even secrete a cement-like substance that further holds them in place.
So they're serious. How long
Yeah.
do they stay attached for?
I think like 5 to 10 days-ish.
Whoa. Oh my God.
So,
okay.
wow.
Yeah, they are really locked in then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To stop the blood from clotting, they excrete an anticoagulant. The tick remains in place until it's completely full. They may engorge 200 to 600 times their pre-feeding weight. And so that makes them a lot bigger. They get way bigger in a very short amount of time. So in some types of ticks, they grow additional cells to accommodate this extra volume.
Little Miss New Body.
I
Okay.
know.
Transformation. So they make new cells so their skin can stretch.
Yeah, they're just like growing themselves
Okay.
to grow with their like blood.
And then how long
body.
can they last?
I think
Before
they
feeding
can
again. I know you said like 18 weeks.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think-
typical?
I think that's probably about typical. I didn't read how long they go between hosts. I mean, I'm sure they would latch onto a new host like as soon as they can.
Yeah.
Once a tick is full, it gets off the animal, Ticks manage to remain on their host for long periods of time because of anti-inflammatory proteins in their saliva. And those keep them from being detected by the animal for up to 10 days.
Yeah. The only thing scarier than having a tick on you is having a tick on you and not knowing it.
And then finding
finding
it.
out.
Yeah.
How
Luckily,
long have you
that's
been
never
here?
happened to me.
Why are you so big?
Unfortunately, another thing in tick saliva is tick-borne diseases. Lyme disease is the most famous tick-borne illness, but others include typhus, rickettsial pox, Botany's fever, African tick bite fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Fingers Island spotted fever, Queensland tick typhus, Q fever, Colorado tick fever, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, telluremia, tick-borne relapsing fever, babyosis, ecriosis.
That's such a good nickname.
Yeah.
Babyosis ochritosis.
Babsiosos, ecriosis. I don't know.
I love it.
Bourbon virus and tick-borne meningoencephalitis.
That almost seems like not enough since they've been around for so long.
There might be more. I mean, the reason that they spread diseases is because they suck blood, right?
Yeah.
So if one animal has a disease, they spread it. But so do things like mosquitoes and bed bugs and fleas. But the reason that ticks are so
good at it.
at spreading disease is because they have a really long life cycle.
Oh.
So ticks can live about 2 to 3 years. And in those 2 to 3 years, they bite many different hosts. So that just like increases their probability of spreading a disease.
Y'all, use protection. Jesus, fuck.
Or just don't go into the woods.
I was talking to the ticks.
Oh, that too. Most tick bites are harmless, but of all the tick-borne diseases, Lyme is the most common. Typical symptoms of Lyme include fever, headache, fatigue, and of course the characteristic target-shaped skin rash. If you develop any of these symptoms and have had exposure to ticks, you should go to the doctor. You'll be given a round of antibiotics, and that's usually enough to heal the infection. However, if symptoms are left untreated, the infection can spread to the joints, heart, and nervous system and become incredibly serious.
That's so scary.
Yeah. Sometimes after Lyme disease is treated and the bacteria that causes Lyme disease is no longer present, your symptoms can still persist. This is sometimes called chronic Lyme disease, but that diagnosis is really controversial. And I was curious about this because you see like a lot of like holistic anti-vax people talk, at least I do on like the side of the internet that I'm on, talking about like chronic Lyme and like being treated by chiropractors, and like it has like this woo-woo reputation as like a fake disease. It does exist, but the problem is that there's no lab diagnosis. So you're diagnosed with it purely based on your symptoms. And so you can't be sure that's what it is. And it's possible that it is Lyme disease causing chronic Lyme. Like maybe there is still enough of the Lyme-causing bacteria in your system to cause symptoms, but the levels aren't high enough to be detected in a lab test. Because if they detect the Lyme disease in you, that's Lyme disease, and you're given antibiotics. But if they don't detect it and you're still having symptoms, that's just like dismissed as chronic Lyme, and they're like, well, I don't know. It's chronic Lyme disease, I guess.
Strap in for the long haul.
And the issue with like this whole chronic Lyme thing is that it's often used as a blanket diagnosis for other chronic diseases that might present similarly to Lyme. So if you're having all this joint pain and you're going to doctors and they can't figure out what it is, they might call it chronic Lyme, even if you've never had Lyme. And that's really bad because then you're not being treated for the actual issue. Or they could say it's chronic Lyme, give you a bunch of antibiotics when you don't need them, and then that breeds antibiotic-resistant bacteria and is just like not a good thing.
How often does this happen?
I don't think very often. I think now in like the holistic health anti-vax community, it's becoming more popular, and just other chronic diseases are branded as chronic Lyme. And it's just kind of... It's just a very controversial diagnosis, and we're not sure if it's... I mean, you can definitely still have Lyme symptoms after you've been treated for Lyme, but outside of that, it's kind of sus.
They need to come up with a better name for Lyme disease. It should be something much scarier, like lymatosis.
Well, do you know why it's called Lyme disease?
No, I don't.
I think it's because it's like a city in Connecticut or something where it originated.
Connecticut is so Lyme disease.
Yeah, they've got lots of ticks there.
Ticks. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole east, like northern
So many
East Coast
deer.
is really bad for ticks, or I guess good for ticks.
Good for ticks, bad for people who don't want ticks.
My great grandma used to live on Lake Champlain in Vermont, and you could not go in the woods without getting ticks and leeches. There were leeches.
No.
Horrible.
No, thank you.
The only country that straight up like tried to exterminate ticks is the Soviet Union, who used DDT, which you kind of touched on last week.
Pesticide.
This was unsuccessful. According,
Georgia,
What's happening?
what are you doing?
Georgia, what is it? Is it too hot in here for you?
maybe mail arrived or something.
Jesus.
All right, sorry, y'all. Georgia had a barking fit. So according to research, the most effective method of limiting tick populations is the use of predators. And predators like encrypted wasps can directly limit the tick populations by laying their eggs in ticks and killing them. Possums are also a great enemy of ticks because
laying their eggs in the ticks?
in the tick.
And then
the
eggs
larvae
hatch
eat
and
the
it kills
tick.
them.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a good
it's a meal.
strategy.
Yeah, it's a great strategy.
And there have been there's been discussions of releasing populations of these wasps into places that have a lot of ticks to hopefully kill the ticks. I don't know if that's been tried or not, but
then do we want wasps?
right. I think I would rather have wasps than ticks.
Oh.
Because at least wasps don't spread disease.
Yeah, but wasps are scary.
You've never been stung by a wasp. That will change when you get stung.
I've been stung.
By a wasp?
think so.
In the South? I
What
don't
is
buy
it with you thinking that southern bees and wasps are somehow
They
different
are
than
different.
northern
They
bees
are
and wasps?
different.
They're not. They're the
They-
same.
Wait till you get attacked by southern bees and wasps.
There
Let's
is
arrange
no
it.
difference. There
I've
is
also
no
had-
difference.
I've had over 26 ticks on me at one time.
Ew, where?
Do you want to tell the story?
All on my scrotum. I stepped in a nest of them or something. Which I was going to ask you, is it true that there are nests?
I don't think there are nests, but they sometimes like group themselves around like animal burrows. So they might have just been like all there like waiting for an animal, and you got in
Yeah, I went on a scout trip.
Recently?
No, when I was like maybe 12 or 13.
Oh my God.
Went on a scout trip, got home, hopped in the shower, and was like, what the fuck?
I got my pubic hair.
And I had to
That's
fucking like ask
terrifying.
my mom to help me get them off because there were so many of them.
No.
Total nightmare.
horrible. At
Moms
least your
are the
mom is a
best.
nurse. So
Yeah.
it's like
That's best case
Yeah.
scenario.
So I'm
That's
saying,
scary.
even after that, I'm still not going to go with wasps.
Yeah, I
I
think I
go-
would go with ticks.
I choose the wasps every time. I hate ticks.
I can't wait till she gets stung real
What?
bad.
That is so rude.
No, because this has been going on for years.
I know. Well, the thing about Alec is anytime he sees a bee or a wasp, he screams and sprints away. And it's like they're not going to just bite you if you
Some
just
people just
sit there
have
calmly.
trauma from it.
I guess, but like, and like, if you want to react that way, fine. But don't say you wish I would get stung so I understand.
Well, I'm saying you will have a greater respect for how painful it is once you.
I don't get no respect. Get her stung with a bee.
Because it does look kind of ridiculous. There's like a joke now between me and the Og family. Because one time we were all sitting in a hot tub. It was me, Alec, Alec's brother, and Alec's sister. And a wasp like flew near the hot tub.
A cicada killer flew near the wall.
A large wasp.
They're huge. They're like a
huge
matchbox car.
Ew.
It was a big wasp. And Alec and his brother jumped out of the hot tub screaming killer bee and like ran as far away from the hot tub as they could get on the deck. And Cam and I were just sitting in there like,
What are you guys
what are you-
doing?
why?
I'm telling you, Kat.
Can you just not control your reaction?
I
when
cannot
you
control it.
It's a phobia at this point.
Yeah, it's a
Like
reaction.
it warrants exposure therapy.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would have that reaction to, but I don't think there is
But
much.
to me, it's like touching a hot iron like on the oven and being like, ouch, that hurt. And Kat being like, it's not actually that hot, but I've never touched it.
I've gotten stung before. It's just like bee stings don't hurt that bad. Not enough to warrant screaming and running away when they haven't even bit you yet.
It's not a bee sting. Wasps are different.
Yeah, we're talking a different game
Okay,
here. I got
but the
stung
reaction to bees is the same.
I got
Well,
stung by a bee on the
they're
bottom of
similar.
my foot on my birthday, and I didn't make a big deal about it.
You're just still talking about it 2 weeks later.
No, because I'm
on
saying,
your birthday this year,
Yeah.
while we were out.
while we were building that deck thing, not the deck thing, the table outside,
Yeah.
I stepped on a honeybee and it got the bottom of my foot. and
Wow, that sucks.
It hurt like the dickens.
Before the hike? Oh, it was on your birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we spent like a month celebrating my birthday. I understand why you're confused.
It's still his birthday month, you guys.
Yeah.
But I
Taurus
didn't make a
season.
big deal about it because it was a honeybee and I could suffer through it. But had it been a wasp, I would have been down for the count.
And is it true that bees die after they sting you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
really,
then-
who should be complaining? It should be the bee and the
No,
bee's
because
family that
fuck
misses
wasps.
him.
Fuck wasps because they don't die.
Yeah, that's true.
They just get,
They can sting you
they're
over and over again.
cold-hearted killers
Yeah.
as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
You've lived in the South for a long time, though, and haven't gotten stung.
I know,
so-
because it's not like bees and wasps go out of their way to sting you. If you don't touch them, they're not going to sting you.
I'm like, actually, they sting you a lot. And I'm like thinking of when I was a kid and I was just running around outside all the time.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. They're not just going to like come up to you and sting you for no reason.
You start acting erratic and they're like, they need a reality check.
Hornets can be vindictive. If you're near their nest, they can attack you. So I don't want to hear about this whole they don't mess with you.
Okay. Let's get back to this.
Maybe it's
journey.
the pheromones. Maybe they don't like men. Maybe they're men haters.
Maybe they do like men.
And
They
that's
like
why
to
they're mean
sting
to them.
Yeah.
Everybody-
To get a rise out of them.
Everybody needs to write in, comment on Spotify. Let me know if I'm crazy about this. All right, everybody, this is Alec in post-production, and listening back to this, because I'm producing the show, I'm always looking at the video and making sure the audio is working, and I completely misheard the source of this debate. I thought we were debating which would you rather have bite or sting you, and I thought Kat was saying she'd rather be stung by a wasp than bit by a tick. But I completely misheard the whole thing. And if you ask me what I would eradicate, I would eradicate the ticks. So ADHD moment, but I completely misheard the entire debate. I take full responsibility for that. And if you listen back, you can hear that I am clearly debating what I thought I was debating. And it's kind of funny. But anyway, I would eradicate ticks. So don't send any hate mail to me. I just don't like being stung by wasps. Sorry, Kat. Sorry, Hayley. Back to the show.
I don't think you're crazy.
I react the way you do to wasps sometimes when I like get touched in the water by a fish. Like that really freaks me out. So I guess I understand. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'll freak anybody out.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not afraid of anything.
You wouldn't be afraid if you're swimming in a lake and like a fish touched your leg.
Kat, I have talked so many times on this podcast about how I do not like
I know.
the big
That's
oceans
why
of
I'm
water.
like flabbergasted
I was being
right
sarcastic.
now. Okay.
That's what that was. So
Okay.
to clarify.
I also can tell. I was like, I thought you were really scared of the ocean.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell?
Well, it was just a weird thing to, I don't know. No.
It was so
Okay.
deadpan.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were trying to pull one over on us that you weren't afraid of the ocean.
No, I'm very afraid of the ocean. And that's me being serious.
So possums are really good at eating ticks. It's estimated that they eat about 90% of the ticks that feed on them. Possums are just like good in general. They like don't get rabies and they eat a lot of bugs. So if you have a possum around your yard, that's a friend.
Let her stay.
The helmeted guinea fowl is a type of bird that also loves eating ticks. Indirectly, some predators help limit tick populations by eating the tick's food source. So research in the Netherlands found that tick populations were lower in areas with a thriving red fox and stone marten population. And that's because these animals eat the voles and mice that ticks like to feed on, especially because like baby ticks will feed on small mammals because they're
They
smaller
haven't gotten
themselves.
up
They're
the,
not, yeah, they haven't been promoted yet
Levels.
to the large animals. So it's kind of like cutting the head off at the source. Like if the babies can't survive, then the tick population's going to go down. These findings were corroborated in the northeastern U.S. when researchers found that Lyme disease was negatively correlated with the presence of red foxes. If you find yourself somewhere with a lot of ticks, the best thing you can do is to avoid being bitten in the first place. You can spray yourself with insect repellent and treat your clothes and shoes with permethrin, which is a powerful toxin to ticks. Tall rubber boots are helpful because ticks cannot climb the smooth material, and you can tuck your pant legs into your socks to keep them from reaching your skin.
fashion.
It's cute. We used to do that. Was that a thing at your school? Like, I guess maybe it was because of soccer, but we would like wear sweatpants that had the elastic at the ankle and then tuck the sweatpants into our socks.
Really?
And wear like slides. It was a whole fashion statement. But we were also avoiding ticks.
Oh, well, yeah, and lacrosse is more of a winter to spring sport because that's what I played.
Yeah, but don't you wear tall socks in lacrosse?
You can.
And do you wear like sweatpants when you warm up?
No, we mostly wore leggings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some
Just
reason, like
different.
leggings were taboo in soccer. Like you would never wear leggings to a soccer practice.
And we wore leggings too because we had the skirts that you have to wear. Mm-hmm.
Forgot about that. You also need to check yourself for ticks. Wearing light colored clothing will make that easier because ticks are dark colored, so they'll be easier to spot. If a tick does bite you, use tweezers to pinch the base of the tick close to the skin and gently pull. Do not jerk or twist the tick. Part of it may break off and stay in your skin. But don't panic. It will eventually work its way out.
Don't panic, bitch. I'm panicking.
I'm panicking too.
I know it has that hook in me.
Clean the area with alcohol or soapy water and then kill the tick. And ticks are notoriously really hard to kill. So some suggested methods, you can burn it. You can also flush it down the toilet, wrap it up in tape, or place it in alcohol. Usually a tick bite does not warrant a doctor visit unless you experience any of the symptoms of Lyme disease within 30 days of the
or
bite.
all the various fevers and
or the other
babiosis,
things.
necrosis.
But that is my lesson on ticks.
Wow, I hate them even more now.
Yeah, they're
somehow.
horrible.
Freaking ticks. No, thank you. Boo ticks. What other blood-sucking insects can we cover?
Fleas. We haven't done fleas.
We haven't done fleas yet. I can't think of any others. But
I might
bats.
cover wasps for my May Patreon.
Good idea.
Oh, you like bring one in. You're like, all right, we're all getting stung.
You have blindfolds on, I'm like, open the jar.
You're like, okay, we're gonna blind test.
You want to play a game?
A bee sting versus a wasp sting.
You just like release a bunch of wasps in here and you run outside and barricade the door so we're forced.
One jar has ticks, the other wasps.
You like play a frequency that they fucking hate over the speakers. Get them all riled up.
Torturing you guys in my own room.
You buy cat a perfume that they would absolutely love the smell of.
Oh,
to
man.
ensure.
I think they like meat. So maybe that's
Meat?
why I don't get bitten because I don't smell like meat.
I like that shirt.
Thank you. This shirt has an interesting story behind it. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, because I have a very similar one saved on Etsy.
Really?
Yeah.
This one's from the 80s.
Yeah.
And Alex's family friend is a psychiatrist or psychologist, and he worked with teens during the Satanic Panic. And one part of the treatment back then was like if your teen was like satanic and on drugs, they would have to give up all their satanic memorabilia. So he has boxes and boxes of like heavy metal band shirts and like jewelry with like snakes and skulls and shit on it. And he's given me a bunch of it.
Wait. Can I?
And this
come
is one of the
over?
shirts.
That is freaking sick.
Yeah,
I
isn't it
love
cool?
it.
I feel really bad that some poor kid had to get rid of it.
I know. If you're seeing this now,
Yeah.
don't ask for your shirt back.
I gave most of the stuff he's given me to Hadrian because it's like a lot of like costume jewelry, like skull rings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But the t-shirts are really cool.
Very neat.
yeah.
We love a vintage t-shirt.
Yes, we do.
Well, cheers to the Satanic Panic. We will be right back.
Hey everybody, this is producer Alec, and I am here to pitch my show, Matchbook Flashback. If you like cryptid encounters, near-death experiences, and normal people reporting unusual phenomena that they saw, you're going to love Matchbook Flashback. I've recorded about 20 new episodes that I haven't released yet, so this summer is going to be full of amazing stories. I know they're amazing because I've already recorded them. So go ahead and follow and subscribe to the show Matchbook Flashback on Spotify and Apple. And stay tuned for a Kansas dogman encounter that a nurse saw in the 70s that you're not going to want to miss.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Are you ready for a history lesson?
You know, I think I am. I have some wine here.
Yeah.
Gonna listen to a tale. I'm probably gonna be confused.
I don't think you'll be confused at all.
Okay.
I think drink that wine because you're going to need it. It's not necessarily a happy lesson. Disclaimer, everyone. Okay.
Well, at least mine
really brought
happiness.
Brought the energy. So Abraham and Mary Todd Lincoln arrived at Ford's Theater on the evening of April 14th, 1865. Spirits were high as they joined their friends to see Our American Cousin, a show about a, quote, awkward, boorish American, Asa Trenchard, who was introduced to his aristocratic English relatives when he goes to England to claim the family estate. That's from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
That sounds like a pretty good show. I would watch it.
I want to see it now. When they arrive, the play has already begun and it's like put on pause. The crowd applauds the president's arrival and welcome him in before the play resumes. At about 10:10 p.m., John Wilkes Booth starts heading up the stairs to the presidential suite. People see this guy go up, but no one is thinking that this well-known actor is plotting to assassinate anyone. So they're like, it's fine. We're in a theater. He's an actor. We all know him.
Imagine if like Taylor Swift shot President Biden.
Yeah.
Like, who would think that would happen?
Like, for why? No one's going to stop her from going
That's
to the
true. Maybe
presidential
she
suite.
should. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Tommy has a joke about how the way to like solve all of our problems in America is just to like do it the old-fashioned style and start assassinating.
At this point, well,
we just need
Mother
someone willing to
Nature
do
will
it.
do it eventually with both
all-
of them.
well,
They
all of
both are
us.
too freaking old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting like really scared with the edit button over here. I'm like, what is she saying?
No. I just
Did I say-
just
was
wish
that
I had
bad?
it. I
It's
will
a
vote.
joke.
I will vote for Joe Biden, but I do wish I had a better option. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is he's too old.
There should be a
senile.
limit on age.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be a cap for serving. And you should, I think really for just about any job, there should be past a certain age, a psychological evaluation.
Yeah, we just need some new blood.
Completed every couple years.
Have you seen that like Trump supporters are wearing diapers now to rallies because Trump wears diapers? Like people that interview him have been like, yeah, he smells like shit because he wears a diaper and there's shit in it. And so now they like wear diapers
In support
of him. It's just the most embarrassing.
The man knows about PR, I
He's
guess,
too
for his
old.
supporters to be rallying behind him and wearing the diapers.
Like this isn't ageism. This is just like
Cold hard
it's
facts.
too much for these old men. They need to retire.
And they grew up in a time that is so different than what it is now. The 80s to right now, when they were like
They're out of
adults,
touch. Yeah.
they're completely out of touch.
Yeah.
They don't know
Agreed.
what's going on.
You know, Biden was a senator when he was 29 years old.
no,
crazy?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like the youngest senator that's ever served.
But he was hot. All right. So anyway, nobody else. Okay. Lincoln's bodyguard had gone down to the bar during intermission, and he had not yet returned, leaving this perfect window of opportunity. So then Booth is directly behind Lincoln when he draws his single-shot pistol. And at this moment in time, the play launches the crowd into laughter. But the jubilation turns to horror as Booth releases his single bullet into the back of Lincoln's head. Intending to make a getaway, Booth heads for the front of the box. And I'm just going to quote a Smithsonian clip. I think they put it concisely. So one of his friends that was with him, Lincoln's friends, was Major Henry Rathbone. And Rathbone jumped from his seat as Booth was trying to make his getaway. He grabbed Booth from behind, pulled him back from the railing. Booth twisted around in the Major's grip, and for the first time, the men were then face to face. And Rathbone later said he was absolutely horrified by the look on Booth's face.
Ooh,
Yeah.
creepy.
And Booth was stronger than Rathbone was, so he was able to free himself, and then he slashes Rathbone with a knife.
Oh my God.
Intense. Rathbone releases Booth, and then Booth jumps from the box, possibly breaking his leg, but historians now believe that he actually broke his leg when he was riding his getaway horse, and the horse tripped on something in the road, and it fell on his leg.
Oh my God.
So that could
never rely on a horse.
definitely break your leg.
Wow. It's crazy that he thought he was going to get away. Like, people saw him do it. Where was he going to go?
I mean, it was 1865. It was much easier to get away with
that's
things.
true.
And I mean, he did get away for a while, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
For months, weeks.
For a while.
Yeah,
I
for
thought,
a while.
I was like
Even with
looking
a
at
broken
you. I was like,
leg?
she's got it right in front of her. And then you looked at me and I was like, uh-oh.
We're not focusing on John Wilkes Booth
Oh,
today.
I thought it was a whole lesson on him. And you looked at me like, well.
Tell us more. No. This lesson will focus on the man who tried to save him. So
Oh, that's right.
he broke his leg. Abraham dies across the street, leaving his wife a widow, and his friend, Major Henry Rathbone, and his fiancee, Clara Harris, as well as, I'm sure, the crowd and the rest of the nation, absolutely reeling. Major Rathbone will become consumed by guilt, leading him to completely unravel at the detriment of his loved ones. But we'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
Henry Rathbone was born with a silver spoon in his mouth in 1837 in New York, one of 4 children, but only himself and one of his other siblings survived childhood. His father also died when Rathbone was just 8 years old, but it wasn't all bad because he did inherit $200,000 from his father, which is now $8 million today.
Okay, just a small loan.
Thanks, Papa. His mother remarried 3 years later to Ira Harris, who had 3 children of his own. Together, they created a beautiful blended family, and Rathbone was raised under the same roof with his 3 step-siblings, William, Louise, and Clara. Rathbone and his stepsister, Clara, got along particularly well.
No.
Oh, yes. They never grew apart, even as Rathbone went off to study law and joined the National Guard.
They're like the
And
Cullens.
They are like the Cullens. They are, I mean, it could have been a porn. But they fell in love. They fell in love. Unfortunate for the couple, though, the wedding was postponed due to the Civil War. And Rathbone enlisted in the Union Army, did military stuff. Not going to get into all of that. Don't worry, you guys. And he became a major, leading to this very close relationship and friendship with Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln liked Rathbone. Rathbone liked Lincoln. Mary Todd Lincoln liked Clara, Rathbone's fiance, but she fucking hated Rathbone.
Oh,
She couldn't
interesting.
stand him. And, you know,
Okay.
there's all of this, like, I didn't do a ton of research into it, but Mary Todd Lincoln is known to have
She's a little
a
unstable.
temper. Yeah. But despite all of this, they all hung out together, double
Yeah.
dates and whatnot.
Okay.
So the Civil War ended. And despite the fact that Lincoln just wanted to stay home and chill for once, the couple decides to take a night out on the town.
No. Sir, you're president and just won the Civil War. You can
do
stay
what you
home
want.
in your PJs if you want to.
Staying home is always a good option.
You'll never regret staying home. You will regret going out.
Like, literally,
opinion.
the worst thing that could happen when you stay home is FOMO. The worst thing that could happen when you go out is assassination.
That's so true.
And I'm not even being dramatic.
That's true.
He was depressed though, and when you're depressed, your wife is like, "Come on, get out of the house."
Yeah, I could see that. But also, like,
At what cost?
getting in my
At what cost?
pajamas and playing Stardew Valley and drinking wine is better
sounds like
than
a perfect
literally
night.
anything.
I know. This wedding that we're going to this weekend is the first time, well, not the first time in a while, but like I'm like truly excited for this. And it'll be
Yeah.
like a social event. And that's pretty rare for me to be like, I'm so excited to go out and do things. And not because I'm depressed. I don't think I'm depressed anymore. Thank you, Lexapro. But there's just a certain lifestyle that I prefer.
I can do one event per month. Or maybe one event every 2 months.
Every 2 months.
Yeah, like a big event like that. Like staying
Yeah, it
out
is a big event.
past 10 p.m.
That is a late
So
night.
that's a big deal.
Yeah. And that's where things went wrong for Lincoln. After 10 p.m.
Nothing good happens
Nothing
after
good
10
happens
p.m.
after
Go to sleep.
So after Lincoln's first 2 choices of their couple friends for a double date didn't work out, then he invited Rathbone and Clara, and they agreed.
Okay,
so they
they're
were
the
like,
backup plan.
they were the backup plan. But whatever, they didn't have to know that. So they go and Lincoln gets assassinated. While Lincoln is actively dying, Rathbone is coming in and out of consciousness due to the blood loss from his stab wound.
Oh.
And the surgeon is like, dude, what the fuck? And he looks at the wound. He's like, oh my God, this is way worse than I thought. Turns out Rathbone had been cut nearly to the bone from his elbow to his shoulder.
Oh my God.
And it severed an artery.
Oh no.
So he's all the way messed up
Yeah.
too. Fortunately, they were able to get it under control, and he healed with several weeks of intense nursing from Clara and ended up returning to work. But all of this just created a different person in Rathbone. Now, in 1867, Rathbone and Clara were wed. Things seemed really happy from the outside as Rathbone was getting promotions and Clara gave birth to their 3 children. But Rathbone was racked with this remorse after failing to save Lincoln and to stop Booth all of those years ago. No one blamed him, but he was just super hard on himself, which ends up affecting his mental and physical health.
I mean, what else could he have done? He almost died trying to
trying to
defend him.
stop
Yeah.
him from even getting away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that there is an explanation.
Right.
He suffered from depression and anxiety, which created physical ailments for him. After a time, the symptoms evolved into paranoia and hallucinations. Just 3 years after he was married, Rathbone retired from the military, but his mental health made it difficult for him to hold another job. Now, through all of this, Clara was extremely supportive of Rathbone and helped him as much as she could, but she also had 3 kids to raise in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
It's
That
a bit much.
That's a lot. Why did he need another job? It sounds like he was,
He was
generationally
fine,
wealthy.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he really needed one. He probably wanted one. He probably felt like he had to bring something
Gotta get some
in.
respect.
Maybe he's just spent it all when he was 9 years old.
Maybe I
was
would
like,
have.
I'm a millionaire.
I would have bought so many American Girl dolls.
I was thinking Bratz dolls, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're on the same page. So she's raising these kids, and Rathbone becomes jealous of the attention that she pays their children, and even suspected unjustly that she was having an affair and was planning on taking the children away from him.
Oh.
So his paranoia had really started to take the reins on, I think, most of his thoughts. There's no evidence to support an affair on Clara's end, but it did seem like she wanted a divorce.
Yeah.
Things had just become unmanageable, but at the time, as we know, it wasn't really a viable option to just get divorced, especially if it was just the wife that wanted it and they're this like well-off family. So it wasn't going to happen. Now, in 1881, President James A. Garfield was also assassinated. And, you know, Rathbone runs in that circle and he's like, not again. Oh my God, not again.
Yeah.
So his PTSD doubles down and his pit of depression just opens up and seemingly swallowed him whole. Chester A. Arthur, a family friend of Rathbone, became president. And President Arthur is like, hey, buddy, would a European vacation cheer you up? Because you're kind of bumming me out.
Like, yes, actually. Spain is really nice this time of year, I hear.
Do they have health care? I'm in. So Arthur ends up making Rathbone his ambassador to Germany.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a bad
Okay.
deal. He was like, get out of here, man. Go enjoy some European vibes.
Yeah, eat some pretzels, drink some beer.
The
Oh
mountains.
my God. The pastries.
And we'll pay you.
Chocolate, worth it. 100%.
It's it's a good job. So
Yeah.
there you go. And we're friends. So it's like, if your reports are late, I get it.
It's fine.
Whatever. What do
Don't
ambassadors
turn in your
even do
lesson
anyway?
plans. It's okay.
I would never do that. I literally would never
I
do that.
hate lesson plans.
Do you still
like-
actively lesson plan?
I turn in what I'm supposed to turn in. That doesn't mean I'm using it. I just feel like I know what I'm going to teach. Why am I like writing it out step by step and making myself a little script for it when I'm never going to really use that?
Absolutely.
But you gotta
I
check
could
a
not agree
box.
more. You got to check the box. You got to do that to start. Like, that's how they taught it to us in Teach for America. Like, all of those fucking steps. And I was like,
Yeah, it's like, why am I spending
there's
more time
No way.
like writing this out than I am actually teaching it? That's crazy. I
Yeah.
only have an hour of planning a day.
No.
Yeah.
No. So Rathbone goes to Germany because the president hoped that a new setting and German doctors and their spas could help Rathbone's mental health. So his family heads over to Germany. Clara's sister joins to help with the children. Spoiler alert, Germany did not cure Rathbone's depression. It actually got worse, and he was in constant pain for months due to a stomach ulcer that was caused by his stress.
Wow.
Ulcers always seem so elusive to me.
What?
Like, I remember being a kid and my stepmom, before she was my stepmom, being like, oh, I have like a stomach ulcer. I'm like, what is that? And it was like a sore in your stomach.
Yeah.
And it's just like caused by stress.
Horses get them a lot, like
That is
really
not-
easily.
So, why are horses so stressed?
They're very fragile.
I mean, they are stressed to the max.
Yeah.
Are they going to survive the like test of time?
No,
honestly.
if people didn't keep them alive, they
There's
would
no
be
way,
extinct
right?
For sure. Yeah.
They're sensitive babies.
They
I
are.
love them. Don't get me wrong. I think they're majestic, amazing beings,
But they cannot survive.
they
without
cannot.
us.
They will
It's-
not. Yeah, their stomach is an ulcer.
Yeah.
Look at zebras, though. They're doing great.
They're different than horses.
Close enough.
Yeah, but
Like a
there's
bee and a wasp.
the way we've
Fair.
bred horses to be like way bigger than they would be in the wild and all that kind of stuff. They just have too many health issues to.
They need us.
Yeah.
We made them reliant.
Yeah.
So he has this ulcer, and on December 23rd, this next part is sad, really, really sad. 1883, Rathbone experienced a mental health crisis. He had been convinced that someone had broken into their home. He was pacing the house looking for the intruder despite no one else seeing or hearing anything. Clara asked her sister to lock herself and the children in the kids' room, unsure of like what Rathbone was going to do. And Clara was following Rathbone around the house as he's pacing, looking for this intruder, just trying to like talk to him.
Oh, that would be so scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would be. It's like you know that they're experiencing this mental health crisis,
Yeah.
and there's not, really so much as you can do just as
There's
a
pretty
person.
much nothing she could do. Like there weren't medications, there weren't treatments that would actually work.
Yeah,
And especially as a woman, like she doesn't have the power to like force her husband to see a doctor the way he would be able to force her.
and the kids are in the house.
Yeah. That's stressful.
So he goes into the bedroom. She follows him in there, and that's where Rathbone pulled out a gun and shot Clara 3 times. before then stabbing her in the heart.
My God, I did not see that coming.
I know. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
I didn't want to ruin the rest of the story. Yeah. Rathbone then used the knife to inflict himself 5 times, and Clara died, but Rathbone survived.
Oh no. I mean, at least he didn't go after the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The police arrived and Rathbone was taken away to the hospital and then charged with murder. The children came under Clara's brother's guardianship, and Henry Rathbone never admitted guilt, insisting that there was an intruder in the home. At trial, he was declared insane and committed to an asylum in Germany, where he remained until he died in 1911.
1911?
Yeah. A long
Oh
time.
my God.
Right?
I thought you were going to say like 6 months later.
No,
Yikes.
a long time. And I wonder, we'll never have the answer to this, but it seems like everything went downhill for him after Lincoln died.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he had PTSD and it sent him into a spiral.
Yeah. And it's like, of course, some of us are predisposed to depression and anxiety and mental health obstacles.
Yeah.
But it's always like, man, what's going on in the alternate universe? Because this is tragic.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Wow.
Of, the man who tried to save Lincoln. And I'm sorry.
At least he tried.
He tried. He got stabbed.
Yeah.
So I've never been stabbed.
Yeah.
Is it anything like a wasp sting out?
Never been stabbed.
Every time Alex sees a knife, he runs away screaming.
Wasp!
It's my John Wilkes Booth.
But yeah, that's the story. I thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of this character in history before.
Neither had I.
And there's like paintings of, like, I've even seen the paintings of him like reaching out, and you can probably picture it in your mind, but I've never been like, who's that guy? So that's all I've got.
Wow. Great lesson.
Thank you so much. You too. I hope you all enjoyed, and we're going to go share some fun facts and banter with each other on Extra Credit. Ooh, you just touched my foot. Oh, your feet are cold.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, join us on Patreon if you want to hear more of our Extra Credit. We will be back next week, and we love you so much. Thank you for listening. 3, 2, 1.
Class dismissed.
Get your fun fact.